In this chapter, we'll discuss about government-sponsored schemes. So, government implements a lot of schemes, and banks play a very major role in the actual delivery of these schemes. So, these programs are for a variety of purposes, like for reducing poverty, providing employment opportunities for setting up industries. Okay, so banks play a very major role in government-sponsored schemes. So, you should know the important government-sponsored schemes. First one is MGNREGA. We discussed about this briefly earlier. Let us discuss about it again because it's very important. It is a labor law. It stands for Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. It's an act of the parliament and it's a labor law which provides social security, a guarantee to right for work. Minimum 100 days of assured work will be provided for every household in the who wants to do work and who volunteers. This is unskilled manual work. And it has received a lot of praise from across the world. The World Bank, in fact, has termed this as a stellar example of rural development. And another aim of this scheme is to create assets in the rural sector, such as roads, canals, ponds, wells. So employment is usually provided within 5 kilometers of the applicant's residence. And if within 15 days of applying, no work is provided, they will be eligible for unemployment element. So employment under this scheme is a legal entitlement. This scheme is implemented mainly by the Gram Panchayats, and the contractors, involvement of contractors or middlemen is banned. Focus will be more on the labor intensive tasks like creating infrastructure for water harvesting, droughts, roads, etc. And they have additional benefits also besides creating economic activity and rural assets. Women will be empowered. Okay, so they will be reducing migration from rural areas to urban areas, social equity, etc. Okay. So remember, what is the full form of MGNREGA? What does MGNREGA guarantee? It guarantees minimum 100 days of assured work. What are the benefits of MGNREGA? This we discussed. There is also this MSDP. MSDP is another scheme by the government. It stands for Multi-sectoral Development Program for Minority Concentration Districts. So this is a special scheme designed to address the development deficits identified by a baseline survey in these districts. There are some districts which are identified as minority concentration districts. So this scheme is targeted at those districts. So the aim of this scheme is to improve the social economic parameters of those MCD districts, so that deficits whichever is identified. For example, it could be infrastructure, it could be education, sanitation, housing, water, electricity. Whatever deficits are identified, there will be a specific district level plan will be drawn up, right, and will be implemented. So, and just remember what is the full form of MSDP and what is the purpose, what is the aim of MSDP. Then there is another scheme called Pradhan Manthri Awas Yojana, that is housing for all urban scheme. This is being implemented during the 2015-22 years, and it provides central assistance for urban local bodies and other implementing agencies for some purposes like rehabilitation of existing slum dwellers, affordable housing, and subsidy for beneficiary-led individual house construction. Okay, so just only question you need to be prepared here is what is Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Just you should be able to see a couple of points on this. Then there is another scheme called JNNURM. This stands for Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. It has two components. This is not really required for you, this bifurcation, but just for information, it has two components, BSUP and IHSTP. That is the Basic Services for Urban Poor and Integrated Housing and Slum Development Program. So basically, it's like for the development of slums through providing shelter and other basic services. BSUP, under BSUP, the project cost will be shared between center and state in the ratio 50 and 50. Okay. That is for cities with population of more than 10 lakhs, and for smaller cities the ratio will be a bit different, like 80-20, and for northeastern states it will be 90-10. That it really is not required. And the entire cost of construction of dwelling units will be as per the above mentioned sharing pattern without any limitation. IHSDP, the project cost will be, that ratio will be 80-20 for smaller, for the remaining smaller cities, and 90-10 for northeastern cities. There will be a cost ceiling of 1 lakh here. These details are not really required. Just only question you need to be aware of are what is full form of JNNURM, what is the aim of JNNURM. If possible, just the names of the two components. Okay. Then there is a scheme called IGMSY. It stands for Indira Gandhi Matritva Sahyog Yojana. So it's a maternity benefit scheme. Okay. So the aim is to improve the health and nutrition status, okay, by providing cash incentives to pregnant and nursing mothers. So beneficiaries will be paid 6,000 in 2 installments through bank accounts or post office accounts. First installment is given in the 3rd trimester, that is the 7 to 9 months of pregnancy, and second installment will be given 6 months after delivery. And all public sector units and government employees will be excluded here because they anyway have paid maternity leave. Okay. So you have to the questions you need to be ready are: what is the full form of IGMSY? What is the aim of this scheme? And how much amount is given? It's 6,000 in 2 installments. Then there is a scheme called Sarva Shiksha Abiyaan. The aim of this scheme is universal elementary education. So there is a amendment. There is an amendment which has made compulsory education, free and compulsory education as a fundamental right. So this is a very important scheme. What this program does is it seeks to open new schools in those areas where there is no schooling facilities, and also strengthening of existing school infrastructure, like providing additional classrooms, toilets, drinking water, and other facilities. So existing schools with inadequate teacher strength are provided with additional teachers, whereas the existing teachers, wherever they are sufficient, they will be strengthened by way of training and other implementation aids. So the scheme also aims to provide quality elementary education including life skills. It also has a special focus on girls education and children with disabilities. So the questions you need to be ready are: just what is the aim of Sarva Shiksha Abiyaan scheme and what are some facilities that this scheme provides. Then there is a scheme called midday meal scheme. This is introduced with the aim of enhancing enrollment and attendance in school children. What happens is, in rural areas, the parents will be reluctant to send their children to schools because they can be used for say farm work and other household work. So to encourage the parents to send children to schools, this scheme is introduced. Is the midday meal scheme, and it's targeted at children in every government and government aided primary school. So a calorific value has been fixed. This is not important what is the value, but it's like a minimum 700 calories. Okay, and there's some protein, and all these are not required. 300 calories and 8 to 12 grams of protein for 1 to 5 school. These food norms are not important. Just the only question is, what is the aim of midday meal scheme? If you know that is sufficient. Okay, the aim is to enhance the enrollment and attendance of school children and provide an incentive to the parents in rural areas to send their children to school. Then there is a scheme called MPLADS. This stands for Member of Parliament Local Area Development Scheme. So under this scheme, each MP will be given funds to the tune of 5 crores. Okay, and the MP has the choice to suggest to the district collector some works to be undertaken in their constituency up to 5 crores. So this is like this. The advantage here is the MP will be able to recommend works of development nature with emphasis on creation of durable community assets. So this is fully funded by the Government of India, and the per MP per constituency it will be 5 crores. So the questions need to be prepared are: what is MPLAD scheme and how much is the amount entitlement per MP, that is 5 crores. Then there is a scheme called PMGSY, that stands for Pradhan Sadhak Yojana. The aim is to provide all-weather road connectivity. Okay, so the biggest impact this will have is on productivity, because once all the roads are connected, villages, small towns are connected, they become part of a larger cluster, say 200-300 villages, and they will be part of a bigger cities. Okay, so the advantage will be economies of scale, transportation will become easier, there will be more market ready for sale of the goods. Okay, so especially this is important for perishable products like milk and fish, vegetables, because if there is more connectivity of road, the goods produced in the farmers can be transported easily to the markets in towns and cities. Okay, so the questions need to be prepared here: what is the aim of this scheme, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana, and what are the advantages of road connectivity? There is a scheme called NULM, that stands for National Urban Livelihood Mission. It's a scheme that is aimed at the alleviation, there is a reduction of urban poverty in the country. So it is implemented at all district headquarters with a population of 1 lakh or more, and it was launched by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation in 2013. Earlier there used to be a a scheme called Swarnajayanti, Shahari, Rozgar, Yojana. That is replaced with this scheme. So this focuses on the urban poor, and the urban poor will be organized into self-help groups and provided assistance. So there will be skill development programs that take place, okay, and the primary focus will be the urban poor and the urban homeless. Funding is in the ratio 75:25 between center and states. There are 7 components of NULM which you really need not know, just for information. If you have time, you can go through this. So the questions you need to be prepared in this chapter: what is the aim of National Urban Livelihoods Mission? What does this mission focus on, and what is the primary target? The primary target will be the urban poor. There is a scheme called PMRY, that is Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. It's a very important scheme which you should be aware of. Its aim is to provide employment to educated unemployment youth. So youth who have education but they're unemployed, this scheme will be the target is to provide employment to those people by setting up of micro enterprises. Okay, don't confuse this with PMGSY, that is a separate scheme. This is PMRY. It covers all educated youth with minimum qualification of 8th standard, and preference will be given to those who are trained in any government recognized institutions for at least 6 months. So the applicant needs to be a permanent resident of the area for at least 3 years, and all economic viable activities will be covered, including agriculture. Okay, project cost, the ceiling is 1 lakh for business sector and 2 lakhs for other activities, and there is a subsidy will be provided, but that's limited to 15% of the project cost. Okay, subject to ceiling of 7,500. These details are not that important. So bank will be allowed to take margin money from the entrepreneur varying from 5 to 16.25%. So there is no collateral up to 1 lakh, and the income of the beneficiary along with spouse or the income of the parents shall not exceed 1 lakh to be eligible under this scheme. The questions need to be prepared here are: what is the full form of PMRY and what is the aim of PMRY? This is to provide employment to the educated unemployed youth. What is the eligibility for arriving loans under PMRY? Then there is a scheme called SJSRY. This stands for Swarnajayanti Shahari Rozgar Yojana. It is an urban poverty elevation program. Its aim is to provide gainful employment to the urban poor living below the poverty line. It provides self-employment to urban poor. Okay, so it has some components which you need not really know. So for the self-employment individual category, the project cost ceiling is at 2 lakh, and subsidy is 25% of the project cost. So the questions you need to be prepared here: what is the aim of this scheme and what is the project cost ceiling? It is 2 lakhs. Then there is a scheme called DAY-NRLM, that stands for Deendayal and Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. This has replaced earlier the SJSRY scheme. Okay, there's a Swarnajayanti Gram Rozgar Yojana. So this aim of the scheme is to create efficient and effective institutional platforms for the rural poor by providing interest subvention to women SHGs. Say women SHGs who take loans up to 3 lakhs will be provided at 7%. Women SHGs will also get additional subvention of 3% if they repay in time. So really they're paying just 4%. It's not even 7%. Okay. So what is the full form of DAY-NRLM? What is the aim of this scheme is important.